What is up, everybody, and welcome to the first ever Dudes Who Bet Sports.
So you want to bet sports, but you need some advice on how to cash in big at a heck of a price. Well, if you want enough money to line your shorts, then you're in the right place. This is Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports, it's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Halterman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dudes Who Bet Sports Show. It's another Wednesday edition of the show. We're going to do it a day early because of the tournament game starting tomorrow, the Sweet 16. Papa Dude, how we doing today?
Doing great. Another cold one today, wasn't it? Man.
Yes, very cold again today. It's the Arctic today, I guess. So,
I've enjoyed
man,
a couple of days off, from the tournament, kind of regroup and ready to roll.
I kind of feel sorry for the tournament because every time they get ready to play or do something, the NFL steals the spotlight. We got some stuff to talk about in the NFL as well. We're going to do the tournament first, and then we will talk about the NFL offseason because it's been crazy, and we got even crazier today out of left field with some news. So
I think that's a good idea because I think this will be an interesting discussion to end the show with today.
There's no doubt, and there's no doubt that there are people that are in the Racing Dudes camp that are not happy today. So we'll get to that.
Imagine who that is.
We'll get to that a little bit later. Let's go ahead and do the games, and let's talk about the Sweet 16. That should be what's dominating the headlines. It's not quite right now, but it will be tomorrow, and we'll kick it off. The first game tomorrow night is Gonzaga and Arkansas. So the number one overall seed, Gonzaga, takes on the Razorbacks. We've got lines for these. That's good. A lot of times when we do these college basketball games, we don't have the lines for the big games, but we do for this. Gonzaga is a 9.5-point favorite. Do they win? Do they cover, Papa Dude?
One more thing before I forget it, and I meant to say it at the first, and I forgot. One of our special guests, or not a special, one of our favorite guys, Isaac. I thought he would be on there right off the bat. Got his driver's license today.
Very good.
I want to give a shout out to Isaac. It's a great thing. Got his driver's license. He doesn't have a car yet, so it's still safe to drive in Southwest Missouri. So we don't have to worry about that. And I will alert everybody when he does get a car so he can stay off the roads for a while. But congratulations, Isaac. I know you worked hard to get that.
Yeah.
And I'm real proud of you. So great thing.
Yeah,
all right. I think this line is way too high.
Yep.
I really do. From what I saw out of Gonzaga, I don't think they're 9.5-point favorite better than Arkansas, and I don't think they would have been had they played really well in the first two games, which they didn't. So, and the argument can be Arkansas didn't play that well either, and that's true, which might have something to do with the line. But when I look at the four games, and I wrote the article and published it a while ago, and I'm looking at the best bet of the day of the four that we're going to have on Thursday, this is far and away the best. I mean, I just think Gonzaga is going maybe to win. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't, but 9.5, I'll be shocked if they cover that. Don't you think that's too high?
I think it's too high. I think Gonzaga is going to win the game, but I think it's insanely too high. I couldn't believe this. And a matter of fact, it's the highest spread of the four games we're going to talk about on Thursday.
Yes.
That's blatant disrespect to me from Arkansas. So I think -9.5 for Gonzaga is too much. I will take Gonzaga to win, but I will take Arkansas plus that 9.5.
Oh, I agree. And I think a lot of it is Arkansas has been disrespected most of the year. Most of us would agree with that. They don't get a lot of respect. They didn't play very well in the first two games, but Gonzaga didn't either. And now Gonzaga, I think, played probably better team. Memphis was better than the two teams that Arkansas played. But I think Gonzaga's overhyped just a little bit. They may prove me wrong. I like to watch them. But I think Arkansas will frustrate them. I think they'll slow them down. I think they'll defend them. And I think they're pretty tough. So, yes, I'm agreeing with you. I think they're going to cover. I mean, I think they're going to win, but I don't think they cover 9.5.
Cindy thinks if Gonzaga plays like they did in the second half, that they will easily cover. And then Russ is saying that Musselman will definitely use this as a motivational tool, and there's no doubt he will. So I think you're right. I think it's going to be tough for Gonzaga to cover. I do think they're going to win this game, but I thought all along Arkansas could at least give them a battle.
You bet.
So I think they will. All right, we'll move on to the next one. Villanova and Michigan. Michigan, the team that nobody thought should be in the tournament, they're in it, and now they got a shot to get to the Elite Eight. They take on a very red-hot Villanova team. Villanova, 5-point favorite here. What do you think about this one?
Well, looking at everything, you would say that line's too low.
Yep.
But Villanova doesn't blow teams out. That's not what they do. I think this has a chance to be lopsided. I really do. I hope so. Anyway, I think Michigan has shown that they're really good. They've got good players, and they've had good players all year, but they've lost 14 games for a reason. Villanova is classy. They're tested. They're well coached. Jay Wright knows how to handle this, how to get his team ready. They've had 3 days to prepare for Michigan, and I think they're going to handle them. If I was betting, I definitely would pick them, and I would pick them to cover.
Same. I think Villanova wins. I do think they cover as well. I'm with you on that. I just feel like I agree with kind of what Mark has commented on here. He says Jay Wright versus the Fighting Right Hook. Cinderella strikes midnight on Ann Arbor. It feels like it. It's more for me of I just have a lot of respect for Villanova. I know you do as well. You've got to pick to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
Listen, this team is just really, really solid. There's just no other way to put it. And I think they didn't start the season that great, but man, they finished strong. And they get strong in the tournament. I think Villanova gets it done.
Well, in this tournament, consistency, experience, defense, rebounding, they've got it all.
Yeah.
You know, if you shoot the ball well, they're going to be very, very tough to beat. So I think Michigan got one of the worst teams for them to play to keep upsetting people.
Of course, we didn't think Michigan would beat Tennessee either. So there is that aspect.
There is a difference, though, between Villanova and Tennessee, and that is Villanova is a basketball school and Tennessee's not. And that makes a difference, too.
I think the biggest difference is what Mark says as well, round of 32 versus round of 16. But much different. The extra rest, the film, you've said that as well.
Yeah, you get 3 days to prepare, to unwind, to relax, get your bearings, get a game plan together. And, usually the cream rises to the top.
All right, let's move on. Texas Tech, I should say, and Duke. And these two games we're talking about next, 1 point and 1.5 point, all that separates them according to the Vegas lines. Texas Tech and Duke, it's a 2-3 matchup. Texas Tech, a 1-point favorite here. Virtually a toss-up game. Where are you leaning in this one?
I'm shocked that Tech is the 1-point favorite and not Duke.
Yep.
You?
Yes.
Kind of tells us what Vegas feels about Duke.
Yep.
Tech made a run, a couple of years ago, but that's been about it for them in this tournament throughout history. They are solid, very solid team. We've talked about them all year. They're ugly. They're not going to look good, but they're going to be there at the end. They're not going to be afraid of Duke. That's not going to bother them, I don't think. Here's the deal with Duke that I don't like. I think they're very poor defensively. I don't think they play well at all defensively. That doesn't bode well for this tournament. Now, as I said in my article, Texas Tech got the draw that nobody wants. You don't want to play Duke in the Sweet 16. You just don't. They're one of those teams you don't want to play because somehow they find a way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take Texas Tech because I don't think Duke is as good as they usually are. And I think they're feeling the pressure a little bit of Coach K's final game. So I'm going to take Tech, but I won't be surprised if Duke wins.
This is a tough game for me. I'm not high on either team, but I do think Texas Tech, like you said, I think defense is going to be the difference. if they can stop Duke, if they can keep them from scoring, 70 points, which Texas Tech is capable of doing that for sure. I think they beat them. So I'm going to take the Red Raiders. It's a toss-up game here. I felt pretty strongly about the first two games as far as the point spreads and the picks we made. We're on the same side again here with Texas Tech, but it truly, to me, is a toss-up. I think they've got this line absolutely right.
Me too.
I could see it going either way. Now, let's go to the last one of the night, and this is going to be a classic, in my opinion. Houston and Arizona. Arizona just a 1.5-point favorite. The reason why I say just, Houston is a 5 seed. Arizona is a 1 seed, but Vegas says, they're pretty damn close. 1.5 point. Houston's your team. Will you go with the Cougs for the upset here?
Well, I think with Vegas, they looked at the first two games, and that line probably was going to be 4.5, maybe 5. And Houston was so impressive the way they dismantled Illinois on Sunday, and Arizona's damn lucky to still be playing. And I think that's kind of where that line comes from. I'm extremely biased, and I can't pick against Houston. If they shoot the ball, this is the key. They are going to play defense, and they are going to rebound, and they're going to control the tempo, and they're not going to be one bit afraid of Arizona. I guarantee you that. I have nothing against the Arizona coach, but the Houston coach is better, and I'm sure the Arizona coach is fine. I don't know that it's going to get down to coaching, but if they shoot the ball like they've been shooting, I think they pull off the upset. If they have a poor shooting night, then that hurts Houston when they struggle to shoot. But they've not been doing that lately. They've been shooting the ball really well. I've said all along, I'm not sure how good the competition is in the Pac-12. I know UCLA is good, but I'm not sure about the rest of them. I think Arizona is really good, but they've not played well in this tournament for some reason. Now, it could be they've got to the Sweet 16 and they'll relax and they'll come out and play. This is going to be a heck of a game, and I wish it wasn't on so late.
Well, hopefully you can stay awake for this.
Oh, I can stay awake.
It's going to be a classic. Mark chimes in and says he thinks if the game was on 48 hours rest like last weekend, he would take Houston, but with a little bit of extra time, Arizona, he thinks that favors them and can slow down Houston's momentum.
Makes sense.
That's true. I'm going to take the Wildcats to win because they are the team I picked to win the national championship.
Yeah, you got to stick with them.
I really don't. Now that we've seen these teams play, I hate that this is a Sweet 16 game. This feels more like an Elite 8 type of game. But in the end, I do think Arizona is going to get the job done. So I went with the Arizona Wildcats to beat the Houston Cougars here. I'll go ahead and take it -1.5, I guess. It doesn't really matter either way.
No, it's going to be a classic. It really is.
Yeah, it's good. It's going to be really, really good.
I think Thursday's games are better than Friday's.
Yes.
Maybe it's because I'm interested more in some of these teams. Maybe that may be what it is. But these last two, the last two games we just talked about, the late games, pure toss-ups, no question.
No doubt. All right. Let's move on to our mythical final 8 here to get into the Final Four. We both picked Gonzaga. We both picked Texas Tech. Gonzaga, Texas Tech. If that is the Elite 8 matchup, who are you taking?
Whew. That's going to be a tough one. I think if Gonzaga can get past Arkansas, and you took Tech too, right?
Yep.
I think they beat Tech. I think they've got a little bit too much firepower for Tech, and I think they'll relax if they can get through Arkansas. I just don't think Tech's good enough to get to the Final Four. I just don't think they are. So I would take Gonzaga in that matchup.
I kind of feel like Gonzaga has drawn Arkansas, and then if they get Tech, Tech is the same team as Arkansas in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah,
defense, kind of scrappy, tough opponent, but they're not flashy. So if they can get past Arkansas, I think they can get past Texas Tech. If they play Duke, I still think they're going to win. So Gonzaga for me as well. We both have Gonzaga. All right. The other one, Villanova, and then you've got Houston beating Arizona. So Villanova, Houston in the Elite 8. Can the Cougars – I know you have Villanova originally. Do you
Mhm.
stick with Villanova in the Elite Eight game?
No, I will go with Villanova against either team
Okay.
uh, in that one. I just think Villanova's playing as well as anybody. I don't know whether Houston can beat them. Villanova is really tough, and whoever Villanova against whoever they play, that's going to be a tremendous game too. It
Yeah.
really
Yeah, Villanova of Arizona, Villanova, Houston. It would be great for sure. I will stick with Arizona. Like I said, I have them in to
you
win the
got
national championship. No reason to go against it yet.
Mm.
We'll see though. I'm not confident in them after watching them the opening weekend. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's go to Friday's Sweet 16 games here. And we'll start off with Cinderella. You talk about Michigan being Cinderella. This is the true Cinderella. St. Peter's and Purdue will open us off on Friday. Purdue's a 12.5-point favorite. They probably should be. What about St. Peter's? I mean, can they keep this ball rolling, or will Purdue kind of stop this?
Well, here's where, as Mark said, the 3 days rest really comes in.
Yeah.
And the ability for Purdue to not only get a game plan, watch the film, figure out what they do well, but also to convince your players that, hey, you better not overlook these guys. They beat Kentucky, and Kentucky would probably beat your ass. So that's another advantage that comes around with this.
Mm-hmm.
Is you now can sit your team down and take St. Peter's seriously, where some of these other teams didn't. So I think St. Peter's goes down 12.5. That's sketchy. Anytime you get up there that high in a Sweet 16 game, I probably will take Purdue because I think they're better than they are, and I think this 3 days thing will help them. They actually have 4. No, wait a minute. They played on Sunday. So I just think they're so much better than them. I think this is it for St. Peter's.
I would advise everybody to stay away from the money line or from the spread in this game.
You're probably right.
That's too many points for an
Yes.
NCAA tournament game.
I agree.
It just, it's just going to be awkward. I don't know. I mean, I think Purdue should be able to beat them by that much. I just stay away from it. I wouldn't play this one.
Yes,
I'm
I
with
would
you.
say that too. I can see this getting away from St. Peter's late,
Yeah.
and Purdue might be 6-7 points ahead with 10 minutes to go, and it ends up being a 16, 17-point game. I could see that.
The other part of it is, like Mark says, St. Peter's has been so fun to watch. And do you really want to sit there and hope that they get beat by 13 points? I mean,
Right. That's right.
I guess you could bet St. Peter's, but that's kind of, I don't know. I'm with you. I just don't know that they can keep it up. I would just stay away from it.
That's a great point. When we bet on a team like St. Peter's, and I think most of us are hoping they win. I mean, why? Unless you're a Purdue fan.
Yeah.
Or unless you got a bunch of money on Purdue, you don't want to bet them to lose bad.
No.
You just don't. So that's a very good point.
Yeah, and I don't really want to bet on St. Peter's in the Sweet 16 either. So it's like, I'll just stay away, watch it, hope they win. If they don't win, hopefully they play well. I'm with you on that one. All right, Providence and Kansas next. I was surprised this line, 7.5-point favorites for the Jayhawks. Boy, Providence, I think they can keep it closer than that. What do you think?
Haven't we seen this all year?
Yeah.
Providence gets absolutely no respect. How much more do they have to do? They're 27-5. They beat a solid South Dakota State team. And then who was it they beat? I can't remember. They were supposed to play Iowa. And
they beat
Richmond. And they just demolished them. So this will probably, I haven't written the Friday games yet. This has got to be my best bet, I think. Providence and the points. This is going to be close. I can't imagine that line being 7.5. I just can't. Can you?
No, I can't either. I'm going to take Providence plus the 7.5. I think they can win the game outright. I really do.
I do too.
they survived a game. They didn't play very well in the opening round. That second round, they played awfully well, like you pointed out.
Yes.
Kansas, I mean,
They were good. They were okay.
they almost lost to Creighton, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll take Providence plus 7.5. I'm going to go Providence straight up. I think they're going to beat them. I'm going to go Providence with the money line as well.
I may do that too. I think with us, we are Big 12 fans, and we see Kansas so much.
Yeah.
And I think we've shown a little bit of disrespect to the Big 12. I think the Big 12's proven in this tournament. That was a hell of a league. And every game of the Big 12 is dog eat dog. So maybe that's why we don't have as much respect for Kansas. Maybe.
I think it's.
I agree with you, though. This line.
Here's the deal. Kansas basketball is a lot like OU football. Every year, they just assume around the country, oh, they're really good.
Yeah.
They're not always that good. And that's what I look at Kansas like, yeah, they're not that good. Also, this is an inconsistent team. So they may come out and play like shit in this game, and people might be surprised, but I'm not going to be. I don't know. I think Providence beats them. And like JL is here, and he's saying it's a playable money line, and I think it is too.
Yeah.
Well, you're just getting good value on Providence in a game that, again, I think it should be 2-3 points.
I totally agree with you on that.
I thought the line was just strange. All right, North Carolina, UCLA. This is a pretty evenly matched game, and Vegas thinks so as well. UCLA, a 2.5-point favorite here. North Carolina, another very inconsistent team. When they play well, they're tough. Who do you like in this one?
You hit the nail on the head. How are they going to play?
I don't know.
They have been really good in this tournament. Excellent. They were not good in the ACC tournament. So, again, we got the 3-day thing. I like UCLA a lot. They're not flashy. The line's probably about right. I'm going to pick UCLA because I just think they're better than North Carolina. I think they've got a better team. They're much more consistent. But this is going to be, as you've said many times, the all-uniform team.
Yeah.
Now, these are two classic college basketball team and programs with storied histories going at each other, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a cool game. No doubt about it. North Carolina, UCLA. I mean, you get the beast from the East, the beast from the West, two great programs. Look, this is one I wish they would have seeded North Carolina a little better, or they would have to play this game in the Sweet 16. But it is what it is, right? I mean, this North Carolina team is 26-9. A lot of years that'd give you a 2 or a 3 seed if you're North Carolina.
Well, it's amazing to me they were an 8.
They just got undervalued all year, as the ACC did.
They did.
End of the day, I am going to go UCLA. I think their experience pays off. I think it's a really good first year under the new coach there for North Carolina. I think it comes to an end. I'm not going to be surprised either way, though. This is a really close game. But I like UCLA's experience. Five starters back from last year's team that went to the Final Four. And, a coach there at UCLA, they play a hard-nosed brand of basketball. They really do. They did in Cincinnati under him, and they do now at UCLA. And it's paying off. I think they're going to get the job done.
I think they're a little tougher than North Carolina. North Carolina at times has been soft this year. But you've got that tradition, and you've gotten this far now. And they did win 26 games. Let's not downgrade that.
Yeah.
And again, up until the last 2 or 3 weeks of this season, they had them down as a bubble team, which is the dumbest thing. I've never seen more disrespect shown to a league. And it started from the beginning of the season. Everybody just said the ACC's not any good. And I didn't understand that from the start. There's a lot of teams in the ACC that won over 20 games, so they weren't that bad. So anyway, this is going to be a good one. I like UCLA, though.
Russ says UCLA is his biggest play.
Okay.
Mark seems to like UCLA as well. Hey, you want to talk about another 20-win plus team out of the ACC that's in the Sweet 16 as a 10 seed? Sure, let's do it. Miami, they will play Iowa State the last game on Friday night. Both these teams, surprising that they're here. Iowa State for sure. Miami, just a 2.5-point favorite. I like the Hurricanes a lot in this game. What about
Oh,
you?
I do too. Now, this is another one. I may play this one as my best bet.
Yeah.
Uh, they got hosed. Miami did. They're extremely well coached. They are matchup problems all over the place because they play small. They got 4 guards and 1 forward. Um, I I did not think Auburn would get there. They were the 2 seed out of this district, but I picked USC instead of Miami.
Yeah.
Um, Miami should beat Iowa State. Iowa State won 2 of the, and I don't want to disrespect Iowa State. They won the way they have to win. 2 of the ugliest games I have ever seen. Those 2 games they won were just, LSU was just terrible in the first round, and they made Wisconsin look bad in the second round. They are a very good defensive team. If they can get the game into the 60s, I said 60s,
Mm-hmm.
they got a shot. And because their defense is really, really good. So you can't discount them. I think Miami is much better. So I like Miami to win this one.
All right, let's go to our mythical Elite Eight games. If it gets here, Purdue will take on North Carolina or UCLA. Who did you pick in that? You picked UCLA, didn't you?
Well, now Purdue will take Providence or Kansas. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I picked UCLA.
Okay, so Purdue, UCLA in the Elite Eight. Who's moving on to the Final Four?
Whew, that's a toughie. I've said all along, Purdue is very good, but they aren't great.
Mm-hmm.
They've not been able to win the game that makes them great. This will be the one that will make them great if they can win it. I don't think they will. If it gets there, I'm going UCLA.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm going to go UCLA to get to the Final Four. I had them in the Elite Eight playing Kentucky, and then I had Kentucky in the Final Four. Well, that's long gone.
I did.
I'll take the Bruins, a 4 seed, to make it out of that East region. Okay, I can't remember as far as picking just the winner. Did you pick Kansas or Providence? I know we both like the point spread.
I had Kansas.
Okay, so Kansas and Miami for you.
Trying to think who. Oh, I had Wisconsin coming out of there against
Mm-hmm.
Kansas. If Kansas gets by Providence, I think they win the next one. I really do. So I'll go Kansas.
I totally agree. The winner of the Kansas Providence game is going to the Final Four.
Me too.
I picked Providence, so I will pick them obviously to beat Miami, get to the Final Four seed, which will give my predictions of, well, now as we get to the third round here, of 2 4 seeds and 2 1 seeds in the Final Four. So I'll go UCLA and Providence come out of the East and the Midwest. So I think overall you said it. You're right. The Friday games, they're not those marquee type of matchups, and they're kind of more wide open, maybe other than the first one, and anything can kind of happen with these teams. Yeah.
I think what hurts this Friday is the Iowa State-Miami game is kind of in the eyes of most of the nation, that's going to kind of be a dud.
Sure. Well, you win Thursday night with Houston and Arizona, which might be the best game of all the Sweet 16 games. And then you end with Miami and Iowa State on Friday night. So it is what it is.
I think that's where we're at on that one.
Yep. All right. Well, there it is. That's we hit our mark. I wanted to spend 30 minutes on it, and we did it. But we got to get to something else because the NFL just won't let college basketball have the spotlight. An absolute blockbuster trade goes down today out of nowhere, out of left field. Hadn't even heard about this. We live in Kansas, or we live in Missouri. We hadn't heard about this. Tyreek Hill traded today after not being able to come to a long-term agreement with the Chiefs. He was traded today to the Dolphins for 5 draft picks. What was your reaction to see Tyreek Hill heading to Miami?
I couldn't believe it because, like you said, there's been no warning of anything. Now, we don't follow the Chiefs. So have you talked to Jared today?
He was absolutely shocked.
Okay, and he follows them. So he's not heard of any rumors where they're having trouble or he's upset or anything like that, right?
No.
Okay.
Here's exactly the timeline that it happened. 2 hours before the trade, there was a tweet saying that the Chiefs are entertaining trades for Tyreek Hill after not coming to a contract agreement. And like I said, 2 hours later, he was gone.
Yeah.
That's the timeline.
Well, I read a tweet that he sent out 10 days ago. Did you see that? I saw that somewhere saying thank you, Chiefs Kingdom, or something to that effect. I did see that. I looked to get some information. I think I saw it on ESPN. And so, but nobody thought anything of it. No one thought a thing about it. It was like 10 days ago that he sent that out. And nobody thought anything because he was signed. He just wanted an extension and they couldn't agree on it. So yeah, this is a shockaroo, and all we can do is speculate. We know he's a loose cannon. I don't know that he's been in any trouble since he's been in Kansas City. I don't think he has he? Anything major, but he has a history of being somewhat of a troublemaker. He's been in trouble. Where was it? Oklahoma State, isn't that where he played?
Yeah.
Didn't he get in trouble down there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's had a history of it. He's cocky. So let's speculate. Did he and Mahomes have problems? I don't know.
No, what happened was he wanted a Devontae Adams type money, and the Chiefs said no, and he said, see ya. There is nothing to speculate on. The Chiefs were not going to make him the highest paid wide receiver in the league. That's all it is.
Okay. So then we have to ask ourselves, why wouldn't they? So what do you think about that? Is he the best? He's not as good as Cooper Kupp, I don't think. Do you?
I think he's the most unique football player in the league.
He is, but you can shut him down, right?
I think he is a guy that makes that offense it makes it different from other offenses.
Because that's what teams did. They shut him down.
Yeah.
Early in the season until the Chiefs adjusted.
Right.
And then they got to playing a little bit better.
Yeah.
I don't think the Chiefs think he's worth that kind of money. That's the bottom line, obviously.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to risk it. They just didn't want to risk it.
No.
What do you get? Like 4 years for $120 million, something to that effect?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, he's the highest paid wide receiver in the league now. As far as the Dolphins, they have Waddle, who's a very up and coming wide receiver, great first year. They gotta have Tyreek Hill. They've got offensive line help. So we now got Chase Edmonds at running back. They've surrounded Tua with a ton of weapons here.
Oh, they have. And they look like a contender. They were close to being a contender anyway this year.
That's the thing. They were close. But now you've got Miami, New England, and Buffalo. It's stacked.
And so now you've got to ask yourself, okay, let's look at it from a Chiefs point of view here.
Mm-hmm.
They've lost one of their main players that might not be able to be replaced.
Yeah.
Because he, as you said, he is unique. He is lightning.
Yeah.
When he gets the ball in the open field, lights out, it's over. You're not going to catch him. He's got that extra step, that extra burst, and he's out of here. And they don't have that. Now, they did get a lot for him. They got a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and a fourth-round pick this year.
Mm-hmm.
The first pick is number 29, I think, in the draft, and the second pick's a 50.
Mm-hmm.
So they can get a couple of good players there. But next year, they just get a fourth and a sixth. I don't think they got enough for him.
I don't think they did either. I think it's a terrible trade. Steve chimes in and says, just another sad day as a Jets fan. The Jets were the team he was supposed to go to right out of the gate. They said, it's the Jets. They've got all these picks. They can trade them.
Yeah.
You don't know what to believe or not, but the Jets only offered him 3 draft picks, supposedly. And that would have been worse. They weren't really close to what the Dolphins ended up offering. But I'm with you. Like, the picks, sure, you got 5 picks, and that's a lot. Okay?
I would have wanted a number 1 next year, too.
They're not that good at picks. They're just not.
Well, and here's another thing. because of Miami's status and where they might finish next year, let's say they win 11, they're not going to draft very high. So you're not going to get a high number one, probably. Yeah, I would have wanted a first and second round next year too. I think that's what I would have done.
Yeah.
So, JL says Andy doesn't draft wide receivers high. Okay, that's probably true. I don't think Tyreek Hill was a very high draft choice because of his reputation coming out of college. He is, in my opinion, and I don't know him, and I've never been around him. I just see him on TV. I think he's a hot dog. I think he's a loose cannon.
Yeah.
And I think it could be he could be a potential problem in certain places.
So let's turn our attention to the Chiefs and what's happened. Okay.
Yep.
Things are interesting. Cindy makes a comment here. Says, does that make the Chiefs the worst team in that division now? Let's think about this. Denver now has Russell Wilson. Devontae Adams is now a Raider. Justin Herbert, he's not going anywhere. And Patrick Mahomes looked like a regular quarterback who just lost his number one wide receiver. Maybe they're not the worst. They were lucky to win it this year. Every team in the division's gotten better. They've gotten worse. Your thoughts?
You know, at the end of the year, when the season was over this year, remember we were talking about, are they missing their window of opportunity?
I remember that, yes.
It's hard to top that. I just don't know how you're going to find somebody like him. I just don't know. You're not going to find a guy at number 29. I know that.
Yeah.
Unless you just get lucky and get some unknown, which Andy Reid's pretty good at. He got a quarterback that was kind of unknown. I just don't think the Chiefs are improving themselves at all. Are they going to become more of a defensive team, maybe? Are they going to try to improve their defense? They're going to try to improve their running game, and they're going to try to win it that way with average wide receivers. I mean, they've got some big-time decisions to make. I wouldn't say it's all over for the Chiefs yet, because they still have number 15 and number 87, and they're pretty good. And Reid's a good coach. So I think they're better than the Broncos too, Mark. I don't know how much Russell Williams has left. And don't forget, San Diego's got a baboon for a coach. So, you know, he's worth 6 losses right there. So anyway, they've not helped themselves. That's for sure. It's just a shock. This is just a shock to me.
I understand because Mark's a Broncos fan. So
yeah,
like us, worst case scenario, looking at it, you know, the Broncos were pretty close to being right there with them this year.
They were okay.
They had nothing on offense, and they still almost beat them a couple times.
True.
Russell Wilson doesn't have to be a superstar. He just has to be better than Teddy Bridgewater. I think he can do it.
Oh, yeah. Didn't they finish last in the division?
Yeah.
They'll get the last place schedule then.
Yes.
They're going to get an easy schedule. The Chiefs are going to get a very difficult schedule. You got to take that in consideration too. When you look at things in the NFL, you always have to look at who they're going to play, because some teams get an easier schedule, and the Broncos are going to get all the last place teams because they finish last.
Yep.
So
JL says the Chiefs haven't made any moves to improve that defense and are still saddled with the awful Frank Clark contract. It's not good. It's not good. Kansas City, I'm telling you. Let's see. They did get Juju Smith-Schuster from Pittsburgh. So, is that a good replacement for Tyreek? You think he can be Tyreek?
Since I've never heard of him, I would say no.
It's not looking good in Kansas City right now. They're not the favorites to win that division.
No, I don't think so. No. We'll just have to see what they come up with. it's a long off season. They could trade, they could do some stuff. So we'll see. But this came out of the blue.
Yeah.
Totally came out of the blue.
Now, I will say this to use the soundbite for something a little more cheery for Chiefs fans. I gotta think when Tyreek walks into the Dolphins room and sees that Tua is the quarterback, he might do this. When he's wide open down the field for an 80-yard bomb and he's underthrown 10 yards, he might not be real happy. Here's the deal. Tyreek got his money. Great. That's good.
Yeah.
But his situation, it couldn't have gotten any better than it did in Kansas City. So
no.
I really don't think it's a move that works out well for Tyreek or the Kansas City Chiefs.
I think it's going to be interesting to see, because now the pressure is clearly on Tua.
Yeah.
Right? They've got all the weapons now.
Yeah.
He has no excuses. If he's not very good, okay, and then Hill isn't getting the stats that he wants, how's he going to act? I don't know that he's a team guy. I think Mahomes probably kept him under control and got him enough passes and enough touchdowns to where he could do his little dances in the end zone and all that crap. So if Tua can't get the ball to him, then we'll see how he reacts.
JL says teams Denver drew due to last place schedule: Seattle, Baltimore, Carolina, and the New York Jets. Cue her up again. Okay, I'll do it. That's fine.
What I was saying,
Magic put that on there for me.
You got to look at that schedule and their potential schedule. I guess that's already out. Yeah, they're going to get the easier of the schedules. And if Wilson's got anything left, they're hard to beat in Denver too if they've got a good team. So, yeah, Chiefs, Kansas City's in mourning up there today, I guess.
Yeah. I think, like I said, Russ pointed out a little earlier, this came out of absolute nowhere. This was something. Honestly, I hadn't even looked at Twitter and or anything. I was working on tomorrow's sheets and picks, and Jared sent me that, and he's like, "There's no way they're going to do this, right?" I was like, no, I don't think so. And he's like, "Yeah, it'd have to be a great offer." And then I heard he got traded, and we're like, "God, what'd they get? Maybe Miami gave him some guys or something." Yeah. It's like they got 5 picks, 3 of them this year, only 1 that's a number 1. Well, that's not good either. So,
it's not.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I think the next year's the ones that are bad when you get a 4th and a 6th.
Yeah,
in 2023. That's the 2 that I just don't understand.
It's not great for a guy that who knows what could happen with him, but he's got Hall of Fame numbers are projecting towards that. He's got a long ways to go, obviously. But the numbers he's putting up are Hall of Fame worthy if they could keep it up. So. Mark says Andy Reid probably found out about the trade while eating a slab of ribs. He can't be happy with the trade or his cholesterol. And Sydney said it might be worth an early bet Casey misses playoffs. Yeah, maybe. Let's see what they do. Surely they, but JL kind of brought it up. They've got contract problems. They paid, and Mark brought it up. They paid Mahomes a ton of money. Mark, I don't know their cap situation. It can't be great. So
they paid Kelsey a tremendous amount of money too.
Yeah.
And didn't they pay Jones a lot of money?
Yeah. So we shall see what happens with them. What about what's your reaction to Aaron Rodgers throwing a fit all year, all out last offseason, weird stuff all year, re-signs with the Packers, no drama. Oh wait, Devontae Adams is gone. What did you think about that?
That's a strange one too, don't you think?
I couldn't believe it.
No, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Nobody thought that was going to happen. There was no expert saying, "Hey, look for Devontae Adams to the Raiders right after his quarterback signs in Green Bay."
Yeah, I don't know. And this Aaron Rodgers crap all year we put up with, and then he ends up signing back with the Packers. And, it's
crazy.
But we got to talk about Watson.
Well, yeah, I was getting there. We touched on Russell Wilson. I'm saving Watson to the end. What
Okay.
about Matt Ryan going to the Colts? I think
I
that's a decent
think
fit.
this is a great move
Yeah.
for Indianapolis. They kind of are taking a cue from the Rams, aren't they?
Yep.
The only thing is Ryan's older than
Mhm.
Stafford was, and he may have lost a little bit, but he's getting traded to a very good team that needs what he can do.
Yeah.
He can still throw the ball. They've got a great running game. I think he is a first class individual from anything I've ever heard about him. I've never heard anything bad about
Yeah.
Matt Ryan. He's durable. Um, got a great arm. I, with their running game, their defense, they got off to a bad start this year, or they would have made the playoffs. They've got uh, they got it all. I look for them to make the playoffs and make a run if
Yeah.
if he's got anything left. I think it's a good
Definitely.
move for them. He's
He's
better.
got more left than Carson Wentz. I know
Yes.
that. I mean,
Yeah.
Carson Wentz going to Washington, they dealt him, and everybody's like, "Well, what in the hell are they doing in Indianapolis?" Good pickup, I think here.
Yeah.
Short term, I don't know what they're going to do long term, but short term,
Uh,
this is good.
Yeah. Well, I'd say he's got a couple of years left. Probably. I think
Well, okay, say he has two. It's still short term.
it is. It is. But in the
Yeah.
meantime, maybe they can draft somebody
Yeah.
and have him be an understudy. You got to win now. And they don't have a quarterback. So they went out and got what they consider to be the guy that can push them over the top. And like I say, they almost made it this year. And they had a difficult schedule early this season.
Very difficult and had problems, obviously.
Look at their division.
Yeah, they could
Their
be
division.
it could be good.
Look at their division.
Finally,
Just look at their division a minute.
well, yeah.
I mean, they got to beat Tennessee, and the rest of it's not very good. So they got a shot to win that division.
Yep, that's they do. They definitely do. All right, then finally we'll talk about the Cleveland Browns, who give the most guaranteed money ever for a player in the NFL who has 22 civil sexual assault cases against him and could be suspended for part of the league. Deshaun Watson now with the Cleveland Browns. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I like you watch the Browns a lot. Kind of got to where I liked a few of them. This makes it easy for me to not root for the Browns at all.
Mm-hmm.
To me, this is what's wrong with America.
Yeah.
This is insanity. This is just wrong. It's dead wrong to sign a guy with the character of this person. Whether you think he's innocent or not, he's been charged, or not charged, but he's been accused of by 22 different women.
Yeah.
So all 22 women got together and said, let's take down Deshaun Watson.
Right.
They all got together one night at a bar somewhere. Hey, I tell you what, let's sue old Deshaun Watson. Come on. That is just baloney. And to give him this kind of money, and he's a criminal. I know, proven you're innocent until proven guilty. I wouldn't have touched him. I don't care how good he is. It just shows you they don't care how good a person you are or not.
I think the odd thing about it is the money part of it. Like, I get that somebody was going to take a shot at him.
Oh yeah.
And I don't really blame the Browns. I really don't. But my God, like, why is he that high in demand? Why are we guaranteeing him that kind of money?
So he comes up there and they talk to him and they come out and say, all that's off. Right?
Yeah.
For a day, all that's off.
Yeah.
He's not going to be here.
What happened was he said no. He said he wasn't going to do it. He said he was going to go. The Browns were off the table, and then the Browns come back and say, Mayfield, we're not requesting, or we're not granting you any trades. Forget about it. Yeah. And then the next day, Deshaun Watson is in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's bad too. And I don't know. The Browns look to me like are they not going to be, in the eyes of most people, aren't they going to be the most hated team in the league?
It seems like a lot of Browns fans that I've kind of talked to and guys that I've known that I've met over the last few years, some of them were like, "Yeah, that's my team, whatever," and a few of them are like, "I'm done with them."
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know. I definitely don't think this is something that's going to go over well for anybody.
No, I
And
don't
yeah, I do think they're going to be a hated team.
I do too. I just think America's not going to go for this. I hope not. I know if okay, let's say I was a huge Chiefs fan and they signed him, I don't think I could. I don't think I could root for him. I
Mhm.
honestly, I'm sure if I was a huge Chiefs fan, I would, but I wouldn't feel good about it. I don't think. And you're taking this huge risk. He's going to do this again.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, I mean, hopefully he's learned his lesson. And also, I was talking to a buddy of mine yesterday. He might be suspended the first 8 games. Somebody was saying there's a chance, he's
yeah,
going to be suspended for a while.
yeah,
And he didn't play at all last year in Houston. They'd had enough of him.
yeah,
And he could have played, couldn't he?
yeah. Well, they just said, you're not playing. I mean, he wasn't
Exactly.
suspended by the league. No.
Right. So
Um, JL
I
says Ohio State has long since sold its soul for winning football games. There's nothing. It's nothing new for the Browns. Okay, so I was been critical of Mayfield, and by the way, he could have come out of this looking really good if he just shuts his mouth,
yeah,
lets the Browns say we're going to meet with him, then say no, Baker's our guy. Then the next day, Deshaun's our guy, and now we've given him a contract, more guaranteed money than anybody, and
yeah,
Baker Mayfield just stays quiet through all of it.
yeah,
He's looking really good, but instead he had to act like a baby,
yeah.
and he doesn't look that good through it. But all that aside, where is he going?
Well,
What to happen?
there's 4 teams. I read on him today too.
Okay.
Carolina, Detroit, Houston, and Seattle. Now,
One of those are not like the other, but go ahead. Because Seattle might be okay. The
yeah,
other three will be a disaster.
if I was his agent, I'd be beating the door down at Seattle. Wouldn't you?
Oh, Detroit
Carolina,
would be bad.
Carolina, maybe. That's second.
Yeah.
Those other two, I mean, Detroit. Oh my God. I hope he doesn't end up in Detroit.
You talk about going from somewhere that's awful to somewhere that's awful.
Seattle at least has winning tradition. They have the kind of offense that he could excel in. Probably they've got a couple of receivers and decent running back.
Yeah.
That's the place that would fit him the best. But I haven't heard him say anything about it. Have you?
No, that's been really, really quiet over the last 3 or 4 days. Listen, I think he's teetering on done, honestly. But this, wherever he goes in this season, is going to really make or break him, in my opinion. He needs, like I said, everything he can to get to Seattle. He's a question mark how he'll play. I think getting out of Cleveland is going to help him immensely. Getting healthy obviously going to help him. At times he's been pretty good at Cleveland. At times he's been really bad. Yeah, got to get him to Seattle somehow. Get to Seattle. It's not going to be easy over there, though. They're a ways behind the 49ers and the Rams now. Cardinals, who knows, with Arizona. But it's not the easiest of situations. But I think that'd be a good spot. Carolina might be okay. The other two, it's not going to go well.
Well, Carolina's still got Darnold, don't they? I think you do. So that would be a place where there's already a quarterback, not that he's anything special, but that would be a duel between him and Baker. And does Baker want to do that? If I don't, like I say, Baker may not have a chance. I don't know about the Houston situation. I don't, I know they've been bad. They've had that Watson thing hanging over them. They're rebuilding. It might not be awful to go there. Detroit still has Goff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, was Goff the reason they were so awful?
No.
They're awful because they're awful. And so yeah, I'm hoping beyond hope he goes to Seattle. I can root for Seattle. They're okay.
Yeah.
He never had a Seattle jersey or anything. It might be different, but they're kind of pretty. Some of their jerseys are kind of cool.
Yeah, I think I could rock a Seattle sweatshirt.
Yeah, I think it might be all right.
I'm not going to do it though. I'm Cleveland Browns through and through.
Oh no, you're not. No.
I don't
I
care.
own them. I'm done with them. I didn't really want to root for them anyway. You're right. Baker screwed it up. He should have just been quiet.
Yep.
And just took it like a man, and he can come out of this smelling like a rose, because then he has a legitimate excuse. He was hurt.
Right.
And he probably shouldn't have played.
Well, and the Browns said that. The Browns said, hey, this guy was hurt. Get off his back, right?
Yes.
So all he had to do was just stay quiet.
Yes.
It would have been like, yeah, Browns just screwed another guy out of it, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like he didn't do a lot for the Browns. When he got there, they were awful. They became a team America got behind, wanted to watch, right?
Yeah.
When they made that playoff run, everybody was rooting for the Browns.
Yeah.
They were fun to watch, and he was fun to watch, and he had not a phenomenal year, but a solid season. A lot of teams would have taken him, and then he got hurt, and so did all the damn teammates got hurt, and they had COVID, and they had just a nightmare of a season.
See, that's the people that don't follow the Browns don't realize it was Murphy's Law, as Brent Venables would say. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong last season for the Browns. And it just did. And some of it was his fault, and some of it wasn't. Like I said, losing Landry, and then they go up against the Raiders in a game where if they win, they probably would have made the playoffs, and the whole team had COVID. Nick Chubb was the only guy they had out there. And they still almost won the game.
Almost won. They lost that other running back.
Yeah.
He was out almost the whole – that guy made a difference because you had two different types of running backs. You had the power of Chubb, and then who was it? Kendrick, what was his name? Bell? No. What was his name?
What are you talking about? Who are you talking about?
The other running back that got hurt.
For the Browns?
Yeah, remember the guy that was fast? It was from
Nick Chubb, and then the kid from Kansas City.
Yeah, his name. Yeah, but he was fast.
Mm-hmm. Kareem Hunt.
Yeah,
yeah.
Lost him.
Yeah.
People don't even talk about that.
No,
that's a big loss.
Yeah.
Landry was hurt off and on all season, and he can catch the ball anyway. Yeah. There's another upstanding. He needs to be with Watson. He will be.
Yeah, Hunt and Watson, man.
Kareem Hunt can show Watson the ropes.
That's right.
Watson already knows the ropes. Maybe both of them need the rope.
The real loser in the NFL offseason, the women of Cleveland. They're in big trouble. Lock them up. Get out of there. Get out of there if you're living there.
It's just, to me, you don't give a guy this kind of money.
Yeah.
When he's got legal issues. It's just not right. It's just rewarding bad behavior. How do you teach young people? They're told Deshaun Watson, he's up for sexual harassment and assault and everything else. He gets $230 million for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
It's guaranteed, I think, too.
Yeah, yes. Yep. Last comment here. They lost Beckham because Beckham was tired of Baker. Baker brought all of this on himself. No, he brought some of this on himself, not all of it. Like I said, he's not without blame. That's not what we're saying. But the Beckham thing was probably on him, to be completely fair. Some of this wasn't. Beckham dropping passes in big games before he left.
I'll say this. JL, Beckham was a lot better in LA. He played 10 times better out there.
He hated it in Cleveland. I'm convinced after watching him in LA, he hated it in Cleveland from day one. He never looked like that in Cleveland once. So I don't know why he went there.
He played great in LA. And it could be he clicked with Stafford. You don't know.
Well, he got a better quarterback. I'm not sitting here sunshine pumping Baker Mayfield.
Oh, God, no.
He brought a lot of it on himself, but trust me, I watched every snap for 4 years. It's the Browns sometimes, guys, and like everybody's gonna laugh, say, "Oh, it's bullshit." I don't care who's there. They can't make plays when they have to make them. They can't do it.
No,
Something happens every time they're about to win a big game. Every time. Well, they've invented ways to lose. These last 4 years have been eye-opening.
well, let's look at a couple of games here. They go to San Diego early in the season. What they score 42.
And lost.
Mayfield's unbelievable.
And
They score
lost.
42 and they get beat.
They got beat at Kansas City and they scored, I think, 30 or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, they got beat. Okay, that's Mayfield's fault.
But that's the problem. If
But
they
it is
would have went and scored 14, the Chiefs would have had 17. That's
Exactly.
what I'm saying. They lose. They just lose, period.
Yeah, and that's just
If Mayfield and Landry and all those offensive linemen would have been healthy for that Raiders game, they would have lost 34-31, not 17-14.
absolutely that's what
That's the franchise right there.
Yeah.
It was, no matter who they brought in, they were the same every time, every year. They were the same. So
it's a culture issue. It's a lack of confidence.
Yep.
That's a tough hurdle to climb to get your team to believe they're better. I've been there, I know. And it's tough. It's tough.
And JL's right. He said Beckham was better because he had a better receiver, definitely, or a better quarterback, definitely. That's not, again, we're not arguing with you, but you hadn't watched him like we had for 4 years. It wasn't just him. They had other problems.
He's on a better football team. That is the bottom line.
Well, yeah.
The Rams are better.
They were better. Their expectations were higher, and he went out there and played better.
Well, let's also remember too, he had a fella by the name of Cooper Kupp, number 10, playing opposite him.
That helped too.
He's a pretty damn good player.
Yeah, they had other weapons as well. No doubt. But the Browns did too. So
yeah, but they weren't Cooper Kupp's category.
No. All right. Isaac's here, and so
and Isaac, you missed it, and we've already covered your news.
Yep.
And we are proud of you, and just let me know when you get a car, so I can stay away from that neck of the woods for a while until you prove to me that you can drive. Which I know you can because I taught you how. So.
That's right. He better be able to drive, or you're going to get fired for that driver's ed. So Isaac said he's excited to come and drive to your house soon.
I never thought about that.
Isaac driving to your house. Isaac driving anywhere.
I think Sandy and I are going to move.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's the only solution.
Isaac, I am teaching driver's ed this summer, and I will let you know. You and I need to get together. We'll have lunch or something.
There you go. Isaac says he had the best driver's ed teacher. That's the only reason I was able to accomplish the thing I did. Thank you so much for all you do. There you go. That's very nice, Isaac.
1 out of 2 million students, I had one that will thank me for all I do.
Well, Isaac, we're very proud of you getting the driver's license.
We are.
Good accomplishment.
You better believe it.
Get that car. Be careful out there. Don't forget. It's okay to drive slow, Isaac. That's fine. Just don't get in a wreck.
Get your girlfriend now, Isaac.
That's right. That's next. Well, you got the car, man.
That's right. Get your wheels. Get your driver's license. Women are going to be flocking all over you.
That's right. All the women in Southwest Missouri are excited today by this news.
Like
okay.
Magnet.
As Dennis points out, it's 30 minutes away. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. AEW Live in now 26 minutes. We're going to open up the matches tonight with Dax Hardwood taking on CM Punk. Cannot wait for that. I'm so excited. So we're going to get out of here because of that. Anyway. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Even JL. Just kidding, JL. Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
No, JL, thanks a million.
Yeah, no, well, we always like your comments, JL. Dennis says he's had a car for 6 years. What does that mean?
Had a car for 6 years. What's that mean?
Yeah. He has to have a girlfriend. He said 6 years.
Oh, Dennis, there are exceptions to the rule, you know. Well, you got to get out of out of that room you sit in up there at Churchill Downs, hiding out all the time.
That's right. JL says, "Go Blue." Can't wait until next week when we get to discuss Michigan in both the Final Four and the Frozen Fours. I can't wait for the Frozen Four. I love that. So.
I don't care if they make that. I don't want them to make the Final Four.
Yeah, I'll root for Michigan to go to the final, the Frozen Four. That's awesome.
By the way, the Blues were great last night, Aaron.
Blues played good. Bounce back, definitely a bounce back game. So,
but watch out tomorrow because they play the Flyers, and those other games don't win.
So. Yeah, they'll lose. They'll lose that one. Big game tomorrow morning. USA versus Canada on the ice tomorrow morning. I'm guessing. I don't know what that is. Curling? What are you talking about?
They're curling, Cindy?
I don't know.
Is that on ESPN?
I don't know. I don't know. All right, we got a lot going on through the next 3 weeks here on Racy Dudes, and it's going to start this weekend with the Louisiana Derby. We'll have coverage tomorrow on Blinkers Off and, of course, on the Magic Mike Show, also covering the Dubai World Cup. That's the Saturday as well, so a big Saturday morning lined up, and the Sunland Derby on Sunday. We're going to have coverage for all of that. We'll be live for the Louisiana Derby as well. Then guess what? Papa Dude and I will be back on Sunday night. We're going to recap what we've seen out of these college basketball games. But more importantly, we will do the late pick 4 from Will Rogers Downs on Monday.
And we will be there on Monday.
Yes, I would say. I'm not going to say we will. We will absolutely 100% be there Monday. So the late pick 4, Will Rogers Downs on Monday. We will cover it Sunday night. So make sure to tune into that as well. So
it'll be me and Aaron and about 25 other people.
Me. It's supposed to be really nice, so we might get 30. So we'll see.
Might be, and maybe 40. Down there, when you place a bet, and the horse is 8-1, and you go place a $5 bet, the horse suddenly is 3-1.
Correct. Correct.
But
100% correct. We've done that. We've done it. My buddy once said, "I'm going to make this horse 1-9," and he placed a $50 bet, and it was 1-9.
And then you never know what they're going to be when they come out of the gate because all of the simulcast money comes in, and suddenly your 5-1 horse is 3-5. That's happened a lot of times.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's going to be fun.
Russ says onsite gambling is always better anyway. Yeah, who knows? We may pop in live while we're there. Who knows?
That would be fun.
We could do that. Tell you what, here's the deal. If we are live to the pick 4 going in the last leg, we'll pop in and do it. We'll do a live show.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Leading up to the last leg.
Yeah, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be planning on that though, anybody.
Hey, I hit the late pick 4 on Tuesday. 20, let me get this right. $32 ticket.
Yeah.
That's what I paid.
Oh no.
$54.
That sounds like the kind of pick 4 tickets or things we get right.
I just was talking to myself, like, why do I do this? Why am I playing this? And you know what really makes me mad? Coming down the stretch, an 8-1, who I actually had on top of the race, is ahead the whole stretch. Would have paid $250 something if the horse wins, gets beat right at the wire by the horse that's going to pay $52.
Yeah. Well, if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle.
That's true. That is very, very true. Russ says, how far is it to Will Rogers? From my house, about an hour.
Russ, from where you live, what are you about? What is he here in a couple hours from Hot Springs?
Yeah, you'd be an hour and a half ride from Hot Springs, Russ.
Okay.
I don't know exactly.
Maybe this will help you. Claremore's about 30 minutes north of Tulsa.
Yeah, he's probably looking like 6 hours.
Yeah, it's about 30 miles north of Tulsa. It's about 2 hours north of Oklahoma City.
Yeah. And it's about an hour away from Joplin, Missouri. So,
yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. AEW now 21 minutes away. We've done it.
Well, I'll let you get with it.
All right, guys, we will see you next time. Tune into the channel all week. Like I said, we got tons of shit coming out, whether it be live shows or videos. So, all right, for the Dudes Who Bet Sports, we'll see you back here on Sunday talking NCAA basketball and Will Rogers Downs.
Thank you.
What is...
This has been a presentation of RacingDudes.com, your destination for all things horse racing and sports betting. Whether you want free winners, expert insider picks, up-to-the-minute trackside weather reports, or podcasts and videos for bettors of all skill levels, never make another wager without visiting the Racing Dudes. First,